Hello everybody and welcome. I am really excited to announce that today we start a brand new series on this channel, and given the results of the poll and kind of what I personally hoped the result would be, we are going to start our adventure into Dyson Sphere Program Rise of the Dark Fog. Just a bit of context before we dive into anything. I did play Dyson Sphere a while back, I think very close to when it first was available to play in early access, but it's been a while. I did do a couple of quick playthrough campaigns, just to remind myself of the mechanics of the controls and whatnot, but I'm still a bit rusty, so please bear with me through the first few episodes while I get readjusted to playing Dyson Sphere. Now, for those of you who do not know, Dyson Sphere is a game to some extent quite similar to Factorio, with a few twists that I think makes the game really nice, really unique, and extremely enjoyable. And yeah, without too much ado, let's jump into a new game. And I'm just gonna go with a random seed. This side of the galaxy looks quite far off from everything else, but I think that should be okay. I'm actually going to leave all the settings on default, so I won't be toying around with any of the Dark Fog settings. I am very curious to try out maxing Dark Fog settings in a future playthrough and have a bit of fun with that, because I think that kind of changes the gameplay substantially and kind of changes what the game is about substantially. But for this series, I'm actually gonna play on default for two reasons. First of all, I want everybody that's not familiar with Dyson Sphere to kind of get the, let's say, vanilla playthrough feeling of the game, see how the game was intended to be played, or better yet, how the devs intended for the game to be played. And second of all, I don't want to get totally obliterated by the, I think it's up to 10x difficulty multiplier. And yeah, I don't think that would be, I would be able to actually survive that without a bit of a plan, a bit of a playthrough. I do have a plan for this campaign as well, but it pretty much revolves around base building and just exploring all the features of the game. So, no changes in Dark Fog, totally random seed. I haven't actually seen this planet before. Number of stars 64, no resource multiplier changes, and yeah, let's jump into the game.
The unknown, created in exploration. The seed evolves in iteration. From zero, transforming into infinity and beyond. It spreads and becomes the shadow of the galaxy. As dark fog rises, the stars dim. new journey.
Welcome to the real universe. Very soon, you'll find this place different from our homeland. But you should be able to adapt to the laws of physics here in no time. I'm your advisor. I will assist you in completing this mission. Everything here belongs to you. As a member of the Cosmo, pioneer of the Dyson Sphere Program, you will explore this cluster from ground zero. Make use of the resources available here to build a Dyson Sphere that supplies energy to the center brain to maintain homeland simulation. I've chosen a planet for the mission, and there are essential resources for the initial development. Now, please pilot the space capsule toward this planet.
So I will let the tutorial go through because it also has a bit of the dark fog intro and presentation. I will try to leave most of the tutorials on.
Unknown EM signals detected. Extracting feature variables. Pairing with database. Those are highly likely anomalous mechanical bodies from the Mechanic Energy Program. Engineers call them dark fog. Dark fog is extremely sensitive to EM signals under a regular pattern, so they may launch an assault on us. To stay low profile, we will land on the other side of this planet.
So, as you've seen, we have...
This is Icarus, a very powerful but lightweight industrial mecha. Use the direction keys, or click the right mouse button on the ground to move the mecha. In this mission, you'll control your mecha to navigate the universe and create miracles. To collect resources like wood or gravel, click the right mouse button as well. In addition, you can hold Shift and click the right mouse button on each of your targets to give a series of commands. Some items are found after disassembling the space capsule. Click on the inventory button at the bottom right corner of the screen to open and check.
Okay, so here we are. I just want to collect a few coal at the very beginning because our mech consumes energy and currently our fuel chamber is empty.
Mouse button to rotate the camera, or scroll the mouse wheel to zoom in and out.
I think that should be enough just to get us going at the very beginning. And let's start. So one of the changes since I've last played is that now we have these starting resource patches. The iron patch is actually very small, the copper patch is a bit more generous, but I will start off by going into the technology tree and actually planning out what I want to research first. And well, the goal for the first goal, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to achieve it in this episode or not. I will try to keep the episode somewhere between the 30 to 40 minute marker. But the first goal is to get science going and get science automated. Now, in order to do that, there are a few researches that we need to get. This being some of them. We need basic assembling. We do not need fluid storage yet. This definitely comes a bit later on. And I think that everything after here. This will need to get quite fast, but I also want to get a few personal upgrades before anything else. Oh, this one is actually quite important. Engines we'll get a bit later on, that as well. Blueprint requires quite a bit of things. I'm actually quite interested in getting that one. I might actually queue that one up fairly soon, but yeah, let's stick to this for now. And well, in order to research, we're gonna need to provide a few items. Now we can either do research in a facility that gets unlocked here, the Matrix Lab, or we can do research straight from our inventory. And for now, the first part is always gonna be manual. Now, we do see here that we have something new, and this is the dark fog threat. Basically, the dark fog has bases on each planet, and can I make any of these? I'll just have to make 10 of those. And we have to be very careful because once we start using energy, the threat factor will increase, and once the threat factor reaches 100%, they will launch an attack on us. Now, this is gonna be quite mild.
It automatically collects ores for you. You can select it in the inventory or in the construction menu, collecting section, to start building it.
Let's queue up 10 of these as well, and this should give us the next research, which is logistics system. Now I will set up the first base here, and I will do a setup that just enables us to do the blue cubes. Let's go ahead and create 10 more of these, and then I'll need 10 of these.
You've obtained sorter and conveyor belt. Full automation is now possible. Use a conveyor belt to transport ores collected in the mining machine. The sorter will transport ores onto the conveyor belt into the arc smelter that will smelt them automatically. Hold R to rotate the mining machine. The more veins it covers, the higher the output. To ignore grid snapping, hold Shift. Insufficient items. Click on the replicator button at the bottom right corner of the screen to open the replicator and manually replicate the required items.
Please do let me know if you want me to disable the tutorials. I think they're quite interesting at the very beginning, especially for somebody who hasn't seen the game before, but
you have an unpowered production facility. To make it run normally, place it within the power grid coverage and make sure power is supplied.
Okay, I need to really check my settings. This is set to produce 5 at once. I didn't want that. That's 5 of those, and I just need 2 more. Okay, definitely overproduce things, but it is what it is. We now have our matrix lab, and I just want to get on manual mode these few researches going, and then we'll work on the actual automation part. Okay, I need to go grab more fuel, but I think I have plenty resources to... Oh, that's not fuel. I'm sure that there was one that was closer than this. I'll just stay here to get a few stacks of coal, get us going for a while. And let's start crafting a few more of these. I'm gonna do them in chunks of 5. I don't want to be overcrafting. It's good that our energy is actually charging now. And let's go ahead and start building a few of the things that I'm gonna need. I am missing iron. So okay, so this power should hold us for quite a while. Let's also grab a couple of rocks. Or I could just go ahead and mine from here. Although rocks tend to be... I think rocks are a bit more efficient. I can hold shift and left click on items to queue actions up. And apparently miscounted, I did need 5 more of each. And let's actually power our first facility. That in the power area? No, it isn't.
You've now built your first power grid. Some power facilities don't have a power supply range, so you'll need to extend the power grid coverage with Tesla towers. You've built your first power transmission facility, a Tesla tower. It can help you transmit power wirelessly over a short range and extend the power grid coverage. Click on it to view more details.
Cool, so I'm just expanding the power generation slightly. There we go, we have 3 of these. Each of these produce 900... how much does this produce? 300 kilowatts, so we have 900 kilowatts in total. When this works at full capacity, this uses basically half of what we're producing, so we're gonna need way more of these. But they're cheap to make, so that is quite good. The threat factor has started to grow because we started to use energy. And that said, let's start preparing for automating blue cubes, because this is after all a game that's all about automation. And yeah, let's do that. So I have 3 arc smelters. I do need for 8 in total, I think. So let's go ahead and queue those up. I did queue up 4 mining machines, And also gonna need one more of these. The researcher already gave us one. And while I'm here, I can also go ahead and just mine some copper ore. Or I can use the mining machine to get a good position. Let's see. Let's go ahead with this. So if I press 1 and then F1 2 times, because I do not have a Tesla tower, the game will automatically take me to the menu where I can craft Tesla towers. But that's gonna be that is going to be quite a bit of distance away. Let's get some more stone. My crafting queue is still fairly long. And coal is actually depleting quite fast, so let's go ahead mine just a bit more coal. So, oh, I will definitely need some more of these, just 5 of them will not be enough. I queued up 10 more. I tend to call them inserters, because that's how they're called in Factorio. They're actually called sorters. I'll have to try to keep that in mind. And I think I'll need just a few more. So I'll need 16 for the arc smelters. I'll need 6 more, so 22. Let's go up to 30. I actually queue this in stacks of 5. Okay, I think that this should be enough. I have a bit more coal. This should hold us for a while as well. Let's get that one going. And I will build the first setup over here. And let's start planning things out. I'll have iron smelted over here. I'm at a lack of belts, but this should be enough for the first thing that I want to do, which is I'll get the iron over on this side. I will smelt copper here and then just have the 3 lanes reunite over on that side.
Built an arc smelter, which automatically produces basic materials such as iron ingots and copper ingots. However, to automatically feed in raw materials and feed out products, sorters and conveyor belts are required.
Once a recipe is assigned, use less than key to copy the current recipe, and greater than key to paste the recipe to the next building.
Let's get this going. So, raw iron ore. Is it called iron ore? Yes, it is called iron ore. Raw iron ore can be converted into either. Oh yeah, this will definitely not work. let's go ahead and put down a couple more of these. And I just want to expand the power production. We need to do that continuously because these don't produce all that many power, but they're cheap to build. They take up a lot of space. As we automate, it's gonna be even faster to build. Like right now I still have to handcraft all of these things. Fairly soon, hopefully I won't have to do. And did I get more belt? I actually did not get more belt, so I have to handcraft. I will use one of the assembly machines to...
The facility has no recipe designated. Please configure one for it. Once a recipe is configured, press less than key to copy the current recipe. Pressing greater than key will paste the same recipe to the next building.
So I'll use this one to quickly move along. Let me see if there's anything else that I want to research right now. There are a few technologies that don't require science cubes. I could also be crafting science cubes, but I don't actually think that's a good use of my time right now. I don't have steel yet. Yeah, I'm gonna assume that there's nothing right now that can be crafted. We will automate science, and afterwards I'll have a bit more spare capacity with my Mac to handcraft things. Okay, so grid load is now a bit better. And I can start crafting some belt. As you can see, one of these machines is not enough to keep all of those things happy. So let's go ahead and get these two belts. I actually want to... Why? Come on, I want to handcraft these. Actually don't know why it didn't let me handcraft. That was a bit weird. Anyway, let's go ahead and do the output lines. I will have 2 lines of dedicated resources over here.
Your vein is almost depleted. Ore reserves in each vein is limited. Once exhausted, the supply of raw ores can no longer be guaranteed, which will adversely impact production lines. Exploit new veins for replacement. Additionally, upgrade vein utilization to reduce ore loss during mining operation.
So let's set up the next bit. That is going to be Okay, I am out of belt again. I'm not crafting. I should be crafting. I should be always crafting.
Planet thumbnail button at the bottom left corner of the screen, or press M to enter planet view. In the planet view, you can hold the middle mouse button to rotate the camera. Hold the right mouse button to roll the camera. Press N to align the camera to the North Pole. In the planet view, scrolling the mouse wheel also enters the star.
So one thing that I'm actually gonna change here is I want to actually leave one more space in between. Oh, this doesn't look right. Because I do want to have the power pole in the middle. I think it looks just a bit better. And a bit more belt. I want to get a few more of these preemptively. And let's take a look at producing blue cubes. So blue cubes require one of these magnetic coils and one circuit board. Circuit boards require 2 iron and 1 copper. Magnetic coils require 2 magnets and 1 copper. So I will set things up like this. So the main requirement is this resource. Let's see, let's get this belt over here. I will actually reposition this one slightly and get this.
The sorter is a connector that moves items between facilities. Simply bridge from a supplier facility to a receiver facility. Then the sorter will automatically transport the items.
That one goes like that. This line will go all the way over here. And I'm gonna leave just one space in the middle. And I will get some trees actually, because I will need to get 60 trees at some point. And this line will go like this. Cool, let's I should be able to actually grab some resources from here. And okay, I do not want this recipe, I want this recipe. I just want to have a very small stockpile of gears. Can actually move this one over here. Cut a few of those items. Let's power everything up. Do I have inserters? I do have all the inserters that I need. Power satisfaction is quite low. Let's see, I am going to output those two things there. And let's go ahead and actually get more. More of these wind turbines plotted down. Now, after I do the blueprint, I can use the plus and minus key to move them closer or further apart. And I can actually start grabbing a few things from here. And grab a few more trees. The one thing I didn't do is enough of these. I have just one and I want 5 more. I'll have to manually handcraft that glass, but that's okay. And just taking a look at the resource layout, let's go to planet view. Actually, it should be a bit easier to see. That's the North Pole. The enemy base is over there. We're not gonna get close to it for a while now. But I do have an iron ore vein over there. There's quite a bit of coal over on that side. I do have iron ore, copper over there, so the next phase of the base I will probably try to build somewhere over here. Kind of makes it a bit awkward because I am going to place the labs down like this.
A matrix lab, a facility to produce matrices. It can also be used to research technologies that are unlocked with matrices. Matrices are the source codes to maintain the center brain simulation of a homeland. You can upload as many matrices to the center brain to run its simulation and unlock more technologies in the real world.
Really? Okay, that works. Get a power pole squeezed in there, and this one is going to do science. So in the matrices we have two options in terms of what we're going to be producing. We're either going to be producing one of the 5 types of cubes that we have available. Right now we just have the blue ones, or we can do research, so basically consume the cubes. Now I actually don't know if one inserter is enough to move all the cubes from one facility to the next, but now that this is done, let's take a look at a few of the researches that we can do. And the first research that I'm actually gonna queue up is steel. Not because I want steel, but this will allow us to build wind turbines on water. That is actually extremely good. This is gonna be our first real source of fuel, and that in combination with this, the thermal power plant is gonna be, I think, our bread and butter for the beginning of the game. This will give us 2.16 megawatts of power per factory. The wind turbines only gives us 0.3 in comparison, so it's basically 1 to 7, and it definitely takes way more space. The problem is that this actually uses resources, so we'll need coal. But just preemptively, in my playthroughs, I was able to fend off the initial attacks with just my mech. But let's start queuing the Gauss turret. Who knows, maybe I'm gonna be out exploring and I'm not gonna be home to defend. I will need battlefield analysis as well. That's gonna be quite a decent help in our base. Engines, I do not need these two just yet. And I will want to get that one. And then queue up the power. And we still have one slot available. Let's go into this section. Oh no, the queue is full actually. We have started researching, and we can see that the threat is actually very close to 100%. So let's go ahead and see how this attack is gonna look like. I should have probably queued the weapon system first, but should be all good. We do see the dark fog coming towards us, the swarm assault coming towards us. Let's watch it on the map. There we have it. We have just 2 units over there.
Warning. A dark fog planetary base has launched an attack.
Now, pressing the Z key takes us into combat mode.
Which can automatically strike enemies within its
And
range. Faster
just
mecha power generation means a faster rate of fire. Fill the chamber with fuels and get ready to engage.
just pressing the left click will shoot at the enemies. There we have it, the last one, and we have survived the
Laser weapon module consumes mecha's core energy for charging. More advanced fuel can increase the fuel chamber's power and the rate of fire of laser weapon module.
So that was the first attack. I hope you found this episode interesting. We are at the 40-minute marker, just a bit over the 40-minute marker actually, but I did want to let the first attack go through just to kind of showcase a bit on what the dark fog is all about. But that being said, I think it's about time to make a cut in this episode. In the next episode we're going to be looking at doing just a bit of more automation so we don't have to handcraft everything and move forward towards the next level of research. But thank you all very much for watching. Again, I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Please let me know down in the comments if you did or if you haven't. what can I do to improve it? Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you here next time.